the pace of innovation, I mean, the conversation around artificial intelligence right now is truly astonishing.
It really is.
We're seeing these incredible promises, but also, well, some very real concerns about what this rapidly evolving tech means for all of us.
Yeah.
So how do we, cut through the noise and really understand what's happening right at the forefront of AI?
That's the big question.
Well, today, our deep dive is designed to be your essential guide. We're focusing on the UN's AI for Good Global Summit 2025.
Right. And what really lifts this summit beyond just a typical tech conference is its proactive approach.
Right.
It's about ethics, societal integration.
Okay.
It wasn't just about showing off powerful AI. It was more about deliberately getting conversations going between groups that don't always talk. Governments, grassroots folks, tech giants. Trying to ensure AI development is inclusive from the start, not just an afterthought. The event itself, it really threw both the wonders and the urgent warnings into sharp relief.
And this deep dive, it's really tailored for you listening to grasp the key insights from this crucial global gathering to help you navigate what it actually means to be part of this AI generation.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this summit. First off, where and when did it actually happen?
Right. So this was the UN's big platform on AI. It opened in Geneva, July 8th, 2025, ran for 4 days, high-level talks, lots of demos.
Geneva, okay. And the timing feels critical.
Oh, absolutely. The crucial context here is that these autonomous systems, generative AI, they're just evolving at a speed that, frankly, regulations can't keep up with.
Right, the classic problem.
So the summit pulled together this huge range of stakeholders. You had governments, tech bosses, academics, civil society groups, and young people too.
That's quite a mix.
All really united by one core goal, trying to steer AI towards those sustainable development goals, the SDGs, and, steer it away from the growing risks, inequality, disinformation, all that stuff.
And Dorene Bogdan, she's the chief of the ITU, the International Telecommunications Union.
Yeah.
She gave a really powerful opening statement, didn't she?
She did.
Declaring, "We are the AI generation." That's a striking phrase. What did she mean by that? What are the implications?
Well, she really emphasized that being part of this generation, it means actively pitching in, contributing to her words were, whole of society upskilling effort.
Whole of society.
Yeah, right from early school all the way to lifelong learning. But, this also brings up a really critical question.
All right, too.
What did she see as the biggest risk? And interestingly, it wasn't, AI wiping out humanity, the sort of sci-fi scenario.
Okay, so what was it then?
It was, as she put it, the race to embed AI everywhere without sufficient understanding of what that means for people and our planet. That urgency, she tied it to these new agentic AI systems emerging.
Agentic AI.
Yeah.
You mean AI that can kind of think and act on its own?
Exactly. AI designed to reason and act autonomously, often without constant human nudges. You couple that with predictions, some saying human-level AI is maybe just 3 years away.
3 years? Wow.
And you can see why concerns about safety, bias, energy use, and whether regulators can even cope, why those have really ramped up.
Yeah, that definitely puts the pressure on. But despite these very serious warnings, the summit wasn't all doom and gloom, right? It was also a showcase.
Oh, absolutely. A vibrant showcase of AI's potential for good. I mean, imagine walking into this huge exhibition space over 20,000 square meters.
That's massive.
Hosting more than 200 demonstrations. You weren't just seeing tech. It felt like glimpses of, tomorrow.
And they had some really surprising things there, didn't they? Stuff that really brought the wonders to life.
Definitely.
Like I heard about a literal flying car.
Yep, a flying car. Then you turn around and there's this elegant robot shaped like a fish, silently monitoring water quality. There were also brain-computer interfaces being shown, AI tools specifically for disaster response. It really makes you rethink what AI even means in, practical, everyday terms.
It does. It broadens the definition.
And what was perhaps most striking, I thought, was that it wasn't just the big tech companies, the huge corporations dominating everything.
Cool.
No, you also had youth-led robotics teams there from underserved communities presenting these really innovative solutions for things like disaster recovery and managing waste.
That's fantastic. Real grassroots stuff.
Exactly. And startups were competing in this thing called the Innovation Factory, showing off AI tools for education, for climate resilience. It really highlighted the diverse applications popping up all over the world.
So we're talking really cutting-edge applications like an autonomous orchard robot that could change farming.
Totally. Or a self-sanitizing mobile toilet tackling basic sanitation issues, and this drone eDNA system.
Drone eDNA, what's that?
It's for biodiversity and pest monitoring, but scalable. Imagine drones flying around, collecting environmental DNA samples like traces of skin, hair, whatever, from the air or water.
Wow.
So you can track species, track pests, without ever needing to physically find or trap them. These are real, tangible solutions being developed.
Incredible.
And let's not forget the AI for Good Awards. They were part of the summit too, recognizing projects already using AI for public benefit across people, planet, prosperity categories, celebrating the positive work already happened.
Yeah, that's important too. Now, one theme that really seemed to stand out was health. AI in health. The WHO, the World Health Organization, they led a session on that, right? On the Wednesday.
A dedicated session. It was called Enabling AI for Health Innovation and Access.
Catchy title.
Well, it brought together the key players, technologists, regulators, doctors, clinicians, humanitarian leaders, all focused on how AI can genuinely improve healthcare, especially in places with fewer resources.
Right, the low resource settings are key.
And if you zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, this is really where you see the transformative potential shining through for, vulnerable populations globally.
Did they talk about specific examples? Real-world applications?
They did. They spotlighted things like AI-powered triage systems for emergency care.
Right.
Imagine that, cutting down wait times dramatically.
Huge impact.
And diagnostic tools designed for rural clinics, basically bringing expert-level analysis to really remote areas where specialists just aren't available.
That could be life-changing for so many.
Absolutely. And the WHO also gave a sneak peek of a technical brief they're working on, specifically about AI in traditional medicine.
Oh, interesting intersection.
Very. But, it wasn't all just about the upsides. The experts there, they also raised some pretty significant challenges.
Like what?
Things like interoperability, getting different AI health systems to actually talk to each other, the massive need for regulatory harmonization so rules are consistent across borders.
Yeah, that's always tricky.
And the really complex issues around intellectual property rights, especially when you mix AI development with global health needs. Lots to untangle there.
Okay, so the innovations, they paint this really hopeful picture of what AI could achieve.
Yeah.
But the summit didn't just stop there, did it? They confronted the risks head on.
They absolutely had to. The leadership seemed acutely aware that all this promise of AI for good, it completely hinges on whether we can actually address the profound risks.
Right.
And that's really where the AI Governance Day came in. That was on the Thursday. And it felt like they were bravely tackling the really hard questions.
So what was the mood? What came out of that day?
Well, the stark reality presented during those governance talks was, frankly, undeniable. You had national regulators, international organizations, all gathered specifically because they know there's this massive gap in global oversight for AI.
A gap? How big?
Well, get this. An ITU survey, the same organization led by Bogdan, found that a staggering 85% of countries right now lack any AI-specific policy or strategy.
85%. That's huge.
It is. And it really raises this critical question. What are the most profound implications of that governance gap for how AI develops globally?
So what does it mean? What are the dangers of that 85% figure?
Well, it's not just about, a potential digital divide, although that's part of it. It points to a really fragmented global landscape.
Fragmented how?
Where AI standards, the actual rules of the road, could end up being set by just a handful of dominant players or countries, and that could inadvertently hardwire biases or even geopolitical imbalances right into the core of future AI systems.
Locking things in early, potentially in the wrong way.
Exactly. It really underscores this urgent need for a coordinated global sprint on governance, not just individual countries doing their own thing at their own pace.
So pulling it all together then, what's the big takeaway from the summit?
Well, if we connect it all to the bigger picture, the AI for Good Global Summit 2025 really showed us a world grappling, like in real time, with a technology of just immense promise, but also equally immense risk.
A real duality.
Totally. You go from flying cars and these orchard robots to AI helping in emergency rooms or diagnosing illness in remote clinics. The potential for good is just undeniable. You see it everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, those urgent calls for policy, for regulation, especially knowing that 85% of countries don't even have an AI strategy yet, it just hammers home the critical need for global collaboration. We have to manage this thing responsibly together.
It feels like As Dorene Bogdan said, the future of AI really is a shared responsibility. Her closing thought sticks with you, doesn't it? Let's never stop putting AI at the service of all people and our planet.
It really does resonate.
So this deep dive, it makes it crystal clear, I think. AI isn't some far-off future thing. It's here. It's unfolding rapidly right now with incredibly profound implications for every single one of us.
No escaping it.
Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. As you consider that whole of society upskilling effort that was mentioned, and you think about that huge global governance gap, that 85% figure, what do you believe is the single most critical step humanity must take, like right now, to ensure AI genuinely serves everyone, not just a privileged few? Especially when we hear predictions that human-level AI might only be 3 years down the road. What's that crucial next step?